students, a very good morning. So students, in last class we have started to discuss the hydrodynamics topic in the chapter mechanical properties of solid, and in the case of hydrodynamics the definition about the viscosity we have discussed up to that one, and also we have seen what is the coefficient of viscosity. So a coefficient that we are using to understand the concept of viscosity means this coefficient is directly, you can say, that telling us about the viscosity property of the liquid here or the fluid here. So what is the coefficient of viscosity? In previous class we have seen that was equal to shearing stress to the strain rate. So this is shearing stress to the strain rate. And shearing stress as F force we are applying on unit area A, and strain rate is what? That is rate of change of strain here, and we have calculated that obviously in the previous class, that was V by L. So finally you can write this is equal to FL upon A into V, and this is now the viscosity of the liquid or fluid from here. So easily we can calculate it now. You can see viscosity that is depending on a lot of factor. Also in very general concept we can write this one as eta is equal to F upon A into dV by dx. So dV by dx is what? This is the change in velocity per unit length. Then if a small change in velocity for the small distance, then it can be written as dV by dx. So we can represent this one by this. Now this is the basic formula to calculate the coefficient of viscosity. You can see it is depending on a lot of factors. Like first, it is depending on the force through which we are just doing the relative motion between two plates or the liquid at the solid surface. Second one, what is the length of the plate there, what is the area of the plate, and through which velocity we are providing or we are doing the relative motion in the fluid. So it means that the fluid, whenever it will move at very faster rate, than that time viscosity will be less. So you can say if you have to distinguish two or three of the liquids, suppose you have such for example water, honey, oil you have, then if you have to see which one is the more viscous, then you can see it by their velocity. So just to drop the equal amount of water, honey and oil on the surface, and you will find out that water molecules or water that is moving very faster, and oil is little faster than that one, and also honey that is the slowest in that one. So by usual here we can see this is eta is directly inversely proportional to V. It means that less is the velocity, greater will be the viscosity. So the more viscous one is here, that is the honey, because there the viscosity is slowest. So this is the way in which you can understand, means whenever the system or the fluid or whatever fluid you have that is having the property of viscosity, because of that it will always reduce there is any kind of change in momentum. So if it will reduce the change in momentum, then definitely the more viscosity will be, less velocity will be there. Now after the concept of the definition of viscosity and the primary concept about it, our next topic is here the distinction between viscosity and the solid friction. So as viscosity, this is also arising due to relative motion between fluid and solid, and friction that is also just appearing due to the relative motion between body and the surface. So whether they are equal things or they are distinguishable. So we can see, first of all, let's see similarity between friction and viscosity. The first similarity is both comes into the play whenever there is a relative motion. So in that way they are similar. Second one, both opposes relative motion, they are opposing relative motion, you know. And third one, they are due to molecular forces, because the molecular forces that are present in the system that are opposing any kind of relative change in their state due to their inertial property. That's why they are opposing or they are just applying some kind of restoring force, and that is known as obviously viscosity. Next one and fourth, that is both acts tangentially, means the direction of both you will see that is always along the tangent. So this is now the similarity between solid friction and viscosity. Now we can see viscosity differs from the solid friction. So it differs in many ways. The first one, like we will see that the viscous force that is depending on, first of all, area of the layer, means what is the area of the layer, it is depending on that one, but the friction is not depending on the area of the stuff. It is only depending on the relative motion between two of the system. Second one, it is also the viscosity is depending on relative velocity of the two layers, means how much velocity, with how much velocity it is moving, it is depending on that, but solid friction, it is not depending on the relative velocity between body and the solid surface. Third one, the viscosity is depending on the distance between two layers. So this means what is the distance between two layers, it is depending, less will be the distance, greater will be the viscosity that time, but solid friction is not depending on the distance between any two surface. Next one and last one, that is the viscosity does not depend on the normal reaction between two layers of the liquid, but solid friction, you know, that is depending on the normal reaction. Even we are finding out friction F is equal to mu r by using the normal reaction. So these are all the difference and similarities here in the two things like solid friction and viscosity that we have. So I think this is now clear why we have to again study it, whether it is similar in some of the facts, but it differs also. So that's why the viscosity that is different than the solid friction. Now after this one, as we have understood what is viscosity now, then how can we find out the other factors related to viscosity? The first formula here that is given by the Poiseuille. So our next topic is here, that is Poiseuille formula. So let's see now what is Poiseuille formula, what it is saying us and what we can determine by this one. So you know, whenever a liquid flows through the horizontal tube with a steady flow under some external pressure, the liquid moves in cylindrical layers coaxial with the axis of the tube. So you have seen that, suppose this is the tube in which liquid is flowing, and liquid that is flowing always in different circular or you can say in different layers, and that layers is depending on the circular cross section of this cylinder. So this is our first layer, you can see now. This is the first layer that we are getting. Now this one is the second layer. Similarly, we can have this third layer or fourth layer. So suppose for example we have taken only these layers now. So you can see in the tube that the liquid that is flowing, that in different layers it is flowing, and that is depending on this cross sectional area on which that is making by the tube here. So after this one, as the velocity of the cylindrical layer, you will see that is maximum along the axis. This is the axis of the cylinder. Along this one, the velocity will be maximum, and it goes on decreasing towards the wall of spring. So if you will go in upward or in downward, in both of the cases the velocity will start to decrease, and it means that the topmost layer that will be near the wall, that will have near about zero velocity, that will be at rest. So next one, after this one, the velocity that is obviously maximum at the layer in contact with the minimum for the layer in contact in the wall here. Now next, Poiseuille studied the rate of flow of liquid through a horizontal capillary tube and concluded that the volume of the liquid flowing per second through the capillary tube varies. So here he started to discuss about the rate of flow, or with how much rate the liquid is flowing through any of the capillary tube, and he just calculated the volume of the liquid that is flowing per second, and that derived that volume is directly proportional to, or that volume is varying with so many factors. Like the first factor on which the volume of the liquid that is flowing per second is depending on, that is the directly proportional to the pressure difference across the two ends of the tube. So these are now the two ends. Suppose this is end A, this is end B. At this end pressure is P1, at this end pressure is P2. So for this one, if pressure is different and their difference, suppose P1 P2 minus P1, this is directly proportional to its difference, and suppose this is equal to P. So we can write V is directly proportional to P. So this is our first conclusion here, our first experimental observation. So whole of the here Poiseuille formula that we are going to derive, that is the experimental observations seen by him for the capillary tube, and that was rate of flow per second, that is, or rate of flow is directly proportional to the pressure difference between two ends. Second one, the rate of flow or you can say the volume of the liquid flowing per second, that is directly proportional as the fourth power of the radius of the tube. So suppose the radius of the tube here, that is equal to small r. So it means that according to second observation, it is given that V is directly proportional to r to the power 4 from here. Now third observation is that is inversely proportional to the length L of the tube. So it means our third is observation V is inversely proportional to the, if L is the length of the tube here, the tube that we have selected, this is L length, then this will be 1 by L. Now the fourth one, inversely as the coefficient of viscosity of the liquid. So you know that is already if the coefficient of viscosity that will be less, at that time the flow will be greater, because it is directly relating the viscosity to the flow. So here these four factors you have seen that whenever some of the liquid that is flowing through this kind of horizontal tube, then the rate of flow that is depending on these four factors. So if you will summarize now the result of these four factors, you can find out the volume that is flowing per second through the horizontal tube or through the capillary tube. So this V is finally written as P r to the power 4 upon eta into L. And now if you will solve, then our proportionality here we will get, and that proportionality constant that is obtained as, after solution it is getting pi by 8. So this is now the Poiseuille formula that is telling us about the rate of flow of the liquid through any of the horizontal tube or any capillary tube. So we can see now the volume that is flowing per second, that is depending on a lot of factors. So that is depending on pressure variation, depending on radius of the capillary tube. Means greater will be the radius of the capillary tube, greater will be the volume that is flowing per second. So that you can see already by taking the different area of the pipes, and you can see if you are taking greater area of the pipe, then that time greater volume of the liquid that is flowing per second. And if length we will take greater than that time, obviously it will take time and less volume that will flow there. Viscosity, less will be the viscosity, greater will be the velocity, greater will be the force there or flow of the liquid there. So this is all on which it is depending on, that is I think now clear. So here we can now prove this equation by dimensional analysis concept. So we have to derive now the equation by the dimensional analysis. So let's use the dimensional analysis to just derive this formula. Just now we have seen one of the experimental observation, and that experimental observation is telling us how the liquid is flowing in any of the tube. Now we can derive it. So in the derivation by using dimensional analysis, the Poiseuille that he studied that the rate of flow of liquid through the horizontal capillary tube and concluded that the volume of the liquid flowing per second through the capillary tube, that is depending upon the four factors. So it is depending upon the first factor, that is V. This is the flow of the volume of the liquid flowing per second. So it is first depending upon the pressure gradient. So pressure gradient is what? That is rate of change of pressure with length. So it means that it is depending upon the P by L. So this is called pressure gradient, means pressure per unit length. So first factor that we have detected. So we can write down now this V is directly proportional to, first of all, P by L. Second one, it is given V is directly proportional to, we have studied that it is directly proportional to the radius of the capillary tube. So if it is radius of the capillary tube. So as we don't know how it is varying, so we are giving it a power by using dimensional analysis. So it is P by L power A directly proportional, R to the power B directly proportional. Now the third factor on which it is depending on now, that is the coefficient of viscosity of the liquid. So if it is depending on now the coefficient of viscosity of the liquid, so we can write it eta power C. Now in summarized result you can write it B is directly proportional to P by L power A, R power B, eta power C from here. Now in next way, if you will use here the proportionality, and let's suppose that value is equal to, or we can also write that is K here. So let's use K word there for that one. So first find out, let's here the value of A, B and C, and let's put, after that the formula will be derived. So to find out this one, first we have to write here the dimensional formulas. So the dimensional formula of V, that is volume of liquid flowing per second. So volume of liquid flowing per second, that will be obviously equal to volume by time, and volume by time you can write that is L cube T minus 1. So this is dimensional formula of V. Now dimensional formula of P by L, that is pressure per unit length. So pressure is dimensional formula, you know, that is equal to ml minus 1 T minus 2 upon here L, and if you will solve this whole, so it is obtained as ml minus 2 T minus 2. So it's the dimensional formula you can get now by using this one. Now the third one dimensional formula, that is for the radius of the capillary tube. So as radius is the distance, obviously this will be L. Now the fourth one, eta, that is coefficient of viscosity. So how can you find out now the coefficient of viscosity's dimension? That you can find out easily by using the concept before that we have used. Now eta is equal to shearing stress, sorry, F by A, shearing stress upon rate of change of shearing strength, and that was V by L. So let's find out the dimension of eta by using this formula. So if you will find out F, that has dimension mlt minus 2. Now L will be multiplied, so we can write L here. V is velocity, so Lt minus 1, and A is area, so this is L square. Now if you will solve it, so this is obtained as finally ml square from here, and this will be cancelled out, ml minus 1 T here, that is T power 3. So this is the formula, dimensional formula for the coefficient of viscosity that we have got from here. Now let's use the I think, sorry, here this will be mlt minus 2. So this will be obviously for this one T minus 1, this will be. Now let's put down these all values of dimensions in this equation, and let's solve it. So if we will put the V has value, that is L cube T minus 1, P by L, it has value ml minus 2 T minus 2 power A into the second one we have, that is R. So R is L power B, and the third one eta, that is now ml minus 1 T minus 1 power C. So this is now the line that we have got from here. So let's solve this line now. And just let me know first this one. So if we will now solve the line, that is this side L cube T minus 1 we have. This side we can take M as a common, so M it will be A plus B, sorry, A plus C. Now L for this one we can write minus 2A plus B minus of C, and then for T we can write minus of 2A and minus of C. So this is the combined result that we have got after the solution of this line now. Now for the dimensional analysis we know the left hand side dimensions would be always equal to the right hand side dimensions. So it means that its powers would be also equal. So if we will compare then A plus C, that will be equal to 0 because M is not present here. So we can write M power 0 for this one. Now the second one L you can compare, this will be minus of 2A plus B minus C, this is equal to 3. And the third one, that is minus 2A minus C, this is equal to now minus of 1. So if we will solve, then we can find out values of A, B and C finally, and then we can put it. So if you will solve, then value of A that is obtained as now 1. So value of A is equal to 1 is obtained. Value of C is equal to minus 1 that we have got now, and value of B is obtained as 4. So this is we are got after the solution of these three equations now. So here after this solution we will get, now we can put this value in equation that was P is equal to K into P by L power A. A has value 1, R to the power B, B has value power 4, and now the C that is 1 and that was for eta, so it is power minus 1. So we have got now this equation, we can rearrange it. After rearranging it you will have P R to the power 4 upon eta into L. So this is the value of B that we have got by the dimensional analysis, and this value of K is obtained as after experiment we have seen this is value pi by 8. So you can see we can easily derive the Poisson formula by using dimensional analysis, and the method of the analysis that is very clear to you. You can easily see this one now. Now as this formula here we can see now, in this formula we can just represent it by B is equal to some P by R. So where in this whole of the equation you can write by this one, where R is what? R is equal to that if you will write, this is 8 eta L upon pi R to the power 4. So this is now known as liquid resistance. So these are now the things that are just defining how much the resistance the liquid will provide there. Means the liquid resistance that is depending on the area, length and of the tube, and also it is depending on the liquid, that what is the viscosity of the liquid it is depending on. So greater will be the viscosity, greater will be the resistance. It means that if greater viscosity is resisting any kind of relative motion in its layers, then that's why honey you have seen that it has greater viscosity and that is not even flowing, that is just you are seeing in droplets form. So this is the property of the honey, because that is very viscous. So if it will have the greater viscosity, greater value of eta, so obviously resistance will be greater, and for greater resistance it will not move easily. And it will be also here the resistance will be greater for the length of if greater will be the length of the tube, then that time greater resistance will be there, greater because of the collision between different liquid molecules, greater resistance will provide, and the flow will be there also, that will be blocked. So that's why flow starts to decrease in that case also. Here if you will see the next one, this is relating the area. So area or radius. So if greater radius will be there, then that time obviously in greater radius molecules will be at the their relative separation will be greater than before, and if the separation is greater than that time, the chances of their collision will be less. So if they are not colliding, they are just moving in a very disciplined manner, then that time resistance will decrease there. So with increasing area, always resistance is decreasing. So you can see this is just behaving like the same way like electrical resistance you have discussed in electricity. Whenever it is flowing, some of the resistance that is providing by the material, and this is just like that one. Liquid always provide a resistance whenever there is a flow of the liquid in any of the system there. So students, we have today discussed the Poiseuille formula and viscosity. So some of the topics we have started, some of the topics that are very important that is left yet, but at least you have understood how the viscosity, you can understand how it is relating to the flow of the liquid, or how it is relating to the hydrodynamic case. So that you have just learned here, that is clear. So let's end our class here with this discussion. So thank you students for today.